Hey guys, okay, it's Yvette, and I am working on a pillow cover for a friend who is purchasing these, and actually I'm making two, and what I'm using as the form are 20-inch square pillows that I got from IKEA. And I'm pretty sure that's what she's using, so that's what I always make them to fit. And so I have made all of the panels. This is one of them. I obviously have two like this, and then two that are for the front. So what I do is, you know what, I think I need to get closer, and I'm having a hard time doing that, like using the camera statically like that. So I'm gonna take it down and try to make the video myself. I hope it's not too shaky, and I can hopefully, for the things that I don't need to be actually working on this, I can show you what I'm talking about. So let me get that set up. I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I'm holding the camera for a bit just so I can go over some of the things that I was going to, because I figure I might as well, if I'm showing you how to put the zipper in, I might as well just show you everything that I do. So the first thing that I do is I cut the fabric for the front and the back, and since and this is my mess, this is how I sew. Hello. And so what I do is, if my pillow form is 20 inches, then I cut my fabric at 19 inches square. And that's how I do it. You can make it tighter, you can make it same size, you can do whatever you like, whatever it is that makes your pillow look the way you want it to look. Okay, that said, after I cut the fabric for the main and the backing squares, then what I do is I will cut a piece of muslin to approximately 21 to 22 inches square. Muslin's pretty cheap, and I use it to line the inside of the pillow because I'm also going to be putting batting, as you can see, and I don't want the batting to be visible or any of that. I like it to be fully lined, so I do line it with muslin. So once I have the muslin cut, then I cut the batting to a little bit smaller than the muslin, but bigger than my 19-inch square fabric. So I cut this roughly 20 inches square, my batting, and then, like I said, the muslin 21 to 22 inches square, and then that way I can see my fabric on the back, I can see my my batting, and I can also see the muslin. So I can see it all, and then I can do all of my quilting, whatever it is I'm going to do. I tend to do things very simply. I'm not one of those people who, well, I'm allergic to free motion, so I don't do that. And so I follow lines or something like that. And with this one, I followed a lot of these brown lines right here, the bigger ones. So I can get a little bit closer. I don't know if you can see that. But that's basically all I did. Okay, so what I'm going to do now that I have quote-unquote quilted these, I'm going to trim it to right along my my 19-inch squares, and let me set the camera back up, and maybe I can just have you watch along as I do that. So I will be right back. Okay, so I'm back, and I know you don't have like an extremely perfect view, but I'm basically just going to be trimming up my my squares. So I know that they are perfectly square, so all I'm going to do is line up, or just match up a line on the bottom, and then make sure to the side it looks about the same. You know what, actually I think it got a little bit crooked, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and measure up by this line here near my tag, so that I know I can get something pretty close 2. Okay, we'll just do that. All right. All right. And then once you have your first line cut down here, then you can use that as your straight edge. Okay, so that's the first one. Okay, so I've got all 4 of these trimmed up, and our next step is to, we're going to get these ready to put the zipper in. Okay, so I'm going to put the cover front face up, and then I'm going to put the back face down. You want to make sure they are right sides together. You also want to make sure, if you're going to have a label, that you put it towards the bottom. So I'm going to do that. And the first thing we're going to do, it got trimmed up a little bit smaller. So that's okay, because pillow covers are very forgiving. So we will get those lined up down here at the bottom, and whatever extra we're going to have is going to get trimmed anyway. So that'll be fine. Okay, so I make sure that the bottom is totally lined up, just as it should be. Yep. Once I have that done, I am going to measure in. Let me get my friction pin. I'm going to measure in 2 inches from each side, and that's where I'm going to, that's where we're going to put our zipper in. And well, first of all, it's how we're going to connect the 2 pieces and get ready for the zipper. Okay, so I'm going to go, and it does not have to be exact. This is totally not an exact science. So you go about 2 inches in. I'm just going to put a little line there, and same from this side. I'm just going to put a little line there, because then I want to make sure that I am a 1/2 inch up. When you're making big pillows like this, you want to make sure that all of your seam allowances are 1/2 inch, okay? So once I go 1/2 inch up, then I just mark this 2 inch line. I'll do the same on this side. Okay, and I will, yeah, you guys, I have heaps and heaps and heaps of things over here. That's what I do. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the other one just to get it ready before, so that it doesn't get start moving around or anything. I'm just going to wonder clip them just to make sure they don't move. Sorry about that. Should turn that ringer off. Okay. So I'm just going to take this smaller one. And again, 2 inches in. And I want to go 1/2 inch up. Oops, I had that like that for a reason, Yvette. Okay. There's Jelly Bean digging in the bags. He loves that. Okay, so I'm going to take these over to the sewing machine and I'm going to sew in these 2-inch seams, and I'll take you with me. So let me head over to the sewing machine. Okay, so I have these ready, and let's go ahead and just sew those up. And on these I will backspace. Okay, so I'm going to head over to the ironing board and I'll take you with me, show you the next step. Okay, so I'm at the ironing board and hopefully you're going to be able to see everything I'm doing. Okay, so what I'll do is I have my marks right here that I just sewed, so I know that my bottom part is down. And I'm just going to, probably not necessary, but just to take the pin marks off, I'm going to just press it real quick. And then the next thing that you want to do is you're going to you want to iron it down so that we can sew these together. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so you'll pull this back this way and it'll come straight to where your seam line is that you just sewed. And all we're going to do, and you could actually also from here, you could just fold it over, right? So let's just do it this way, because I think you can probably see this a lot better. I'm going to just finger press it, and it's thick, so that's fine, and it doesn't have to be perfect, just, you know, sew it down. So you're going to just press it down just to encourage it to stay there. And again, this is a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Alright, we're just sort of encouraging it. It's not going to be perfect. And we'll do the same on the other side. Just sort of encouraging the 1/2 inch seam allowance. You sort of want it to be the same, but no one's going to be able to tell. So this is where you're putting your zipper. Okay. Now you're going to be sewing these separately, okay? So what you're going to do, and you'll see what I mean. Like, let's say we open this up, and you can see where I have, there's an opening right here. Oh, hold on. I'm making sure you can see. Let me pull this back a little bit. Okay, so there's the opening. That's where your zipper's going to go, okay? And all we have done is folded over each side with a very, loose 1/2 inch seam allowance. And they should be touching, right? Shouldn't be like a big giant gap or anything like that. When you pull it, it's just encouraged to stay right there. Now what I'll do is I will take some of my Wonder Clips, and just to keep it there, I will just sort of put them in there. Just a couple. Well, this is 19 inches across, so you could put like 4. It's not like a huge amount. And then I'll do the same thing on the other side. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's just to sort of help you. Okay guys, so it's the next day because apparently I ran out of battery. Thankfully I did notice when it just stopped recording. So it's the next day, and I did not go ahead. I decided to wait. And so to pick up where I left off, you basically just want to press this and then use the Wonder Clips just to kind of hold it. And what we're going to do is we are going to sew right down along here. Okay, so you want to pay attention to which thread you have in your bobbin, because it'll show through obviously to the other side. So you want to make sure you pick something that's going to go pretty well, and on this side, on your top, it really doesn't matter. So I'm going to take this over to the sewing machine, and I'll meet you there. Okay, so I'm at the sewing machine and I'm ready to do that stitching. Let me just kind of fix the fabric a little bit, make it easier to handle. Alright, I'm just going to sew first down one end and then down the other, so let's get going. This is just my preference, but I have shortened my stitch length just so that it'll be held down a whole lot better. Well, that's my opinion. I think it works, so I do shorten my stitch length down to about 1.8, something like that. Okay, so I have these all sewn up, and the next thing is to start putting the zipper in. So I'm going to head over to the cutting mat and we'll get going on that. Okay, so here I am ready to install my zipper. And what I did was I chose this zipper because it is going to match the colors of the pillow best. So, you know, you just choose that. You want to make sure that you choose a nylon zipper and not one that has metal teeth, so that you can cut through it. And you also want to make sure that it's longer than your pillow. So I just pulled out a 22-inch zipper. It really doesn't matter, doesn't have to fit perfect, it just has to be longer than your actual pillow, okay? And then, as I said, I take twine. Oops, are you seeing that? It's so little. So I take twine and I put it through the zipper itself. And there's that little hole, and I just put it straight through there. I take it and I just knot it together. Just knot the ends together. One knot is fine. You don't have to go crazy with it. It's just so that it will hold the end of the zipper. Okay? Alright, so then what you do is now we're going to mark, and let me take out my rulers and stuff. We're gonna just for initial whatever, we're gonna mark a 1/2 inch from the edge, because as I said, there's a 1/2 inch seam allowance all the way around your pillow. So you want to just right by where the zipper is going to be installed, right here, you're going to mark that 1/2 inch. And that's just so that we know that the zipper has to be sewn in on the other side of that line, because you don't want to have any part of the zipper to the inside of the 1/2 inch, because that'll just add more bulk whenever you're sewing. Okay, so what you'll do is you'll take your zipper, and you want the head to be face down, because it's going to show through the right side of the pillow that way, so that you can pull the zip, okay? And you're not seeing anything I'm doing. Okay. Boy, I don't know why you guys like these videos. I'm telling you, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, so head down, and then you're just going to take the zipper, and you're going to line it up anywhere. I mean, really, it doesn't matter where it sticks out. You want to make sure, because you also have this little metal piece right here, which is your stop. You just want to make sure that that piece is to, yeah, you don't want to sew there. You don't want to sew over that, okay? And we're going to be trimming it, so no big deal. You just want to make sure that that stop is not to the outside of the seam allowance. Okay, you want to put it to this side of your seam allowance, like toward me. I feel like I'm making no sense whatsoever. Anyway, so, and then what you want to do is, you know that somewhere between here, now your 2 inches is right here, right? We have that sewn, and we know that that's there, so you know that you don't want to sew there. But somewhere between this 2-inch mark and the 1/2 inch that you're going to have for seam allowance, you want to sew your zipper down. Okay, so I'm just basically, just a little mark so that I know. I'm just going to mark right here. I just go roughly halfway between. This part, it's, again, it is not set in stone, not a huge deal. Okay, but I'm going to take a pin. And I don't go crazy pinning all of this stuff. It's really not that important. But I just want to make sure I hold this zipper down right here, just so that it's held in place. I know that it's going to be sewn in at a good spot. And then we don't have to worry after that. So here's what I'm going to do. I take it over to the sewing machine. Okay. And I can, when you have it face down, you can feel the teeth of the zipper sticking down and out. You could feel it under there. So what you want to do is you just want to make sure, and you can feel it, that in the opening, you have the teeth pointing just right into that opening, right into the middle. And with a pillow like this, you want it to you want to make sure that you're putting the fabric together and just roughly making sure that it's in the right spot. Okay, because you don't want, or you want to have the teeth showing through as little as possible. Okay? Okay, so what I would do is I'll go over to the sewing machine where I have this mark. I'm going to sew over that a good 2 or 3 times. You want to make sure that it's definitely staying right there. Try not to be too crazy with it, as far as you want to make sure that you're sewing over the same line over and over, because that line will be seen on this side. But if it's just a solid line and it's not all, it's going to be fine. And then I will stay to one side, and I want to just sew down as, you know, about 1/8 of an inch from the teeth, and go slow so that you make sure that it looks nice. You know, just so that you're going to have that one line, okay? Then when you're going to get down to close to the other end, like let's say, you know, like right here, okay? Then you're going to want to take through the other side. You want to take your string to the other side, and you'll pull it down past where you've already sewn, and then you'll go around it. Now this is, I'm going to do all of this on the camera over there so you can watch me do it. But basically that's what we're doing. And then we're going to sew down to the other end. And then we're going to do the same thing where we're going to, I'm going to make a mark over here for the 1/2 inch seam allowance. And there's a 2 inch. So between the 1/2 inch and the 2 inch, you just want to sew it down again. And you want to make sure that your zipper head is to the inside, because if you have it on the outside, you're going to sew it up and then you got no zipper. And then you just sew right down the other side. So we're going to go over to the sewing machine and work on that right now. Okay guys, I have you zoomed right into the presser foot. So hopefully you'll be able to see exactly what I'm doing. And you know, first time I'm doing this close, so let's see how it turns out. And like I said, I'm going to start by securing the zipper down between the 1/2 inch seam allowance and the 2 inch that we have sewn in to combine the 2 panels. Okay, so that's where I'm going to start. Okay, so I've gone over it 3 times. Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to backspace until I'm about 1/8 of an inch from the teeth, so that I can then turn the fabric and go down the zipper. The one thing I wanted to mention is that I do not personally use a zipper foot. You can. I just personally don't ever have a problem with sewing my zippers with a regular foot, and I like using an open toe foot for everything. I feel like I can see everything a heck of a lot better, and it's just my preference. So let's get going. Now right here, I tend to pull my presser foot up as high as I can so I can get that zipper underneath real easy. And when I pull it out, you can see, hopefully, where can you see? Maybe there. Oh, this is difficult. Hold on, let me go fix the zoom just a little bit so that you can see better. Hold on one moment. Hopefully this isn't too jarring. All right, let's look at that. Oops. Sorry guys, sorry. That was my foot. Okay. So now you can see where the zipper is, and I just pull it across and you can see there it is. So I'm just going to real quick do the other one. I'm not going to make you sit here and watch it. It's basically the same exact thing. And I'll be right back, and we'll have just one more step, and we're done with the cover. It's really not. This is like one of the easiest things ever. I like the zippered pillows 10,000 times better than the envelope style. To me, it's neater. I think it's quicker personally, and it just looks so much better once you put the pillow in. So I will be right back at the cutting board to show you the last step. Okay guys, so now the next thing we want to do is we are going to trim off the excess zipper. And so you just want to cut between where you have secured your zipper and where that 1/2 inch seam allowance is. So you just basically just trim it off, and your scissor will go straight through it because it's nylon zipper. And this is the second one I did, so I will just trim that real quick. Alright. Alright, so the next thing that you're going to want to do, and that's it for the zipper, by the way. So it's really not that difficult. Okay, and this is one example. I will make a zipper bag next so that you can kind of see how that comes together. But I'll just go ahead and finish this up with you so that you can see exactly how easy it all is. So now we're going to put these right sides together again with the zipper like at the top or wherever. You just want to make sure you have them all matched up. Okay, and it looks like I have a little bit extra down here. So what I'm going to do is I will just trim that because it will make it difficult whenever you're putting them together. And no need to do that. Might as well just trim it up. Is that? No, it's not long enough. I mean, it would be okay if it had like just a little bit of overlap, but this is like about 1/4 inch, so I'm just gonna trim it up. Okay. And then now all I'm gonna do is I'm going to I want to use this one because at least I have a 1/2 inch mark. I'm going to just put this down and mark a 1/2 inch seam allowance. And I'm just going to use my friction pin. And then as I mark the sides, I'm just going to, oops, runaway zipper. I'm just going to just pin it a little bit just so that I can kind of have it held together. I don't think you really need to like go crazy with pinning personally, or wonder clipping. Just so it holds it together, you're really fine. And like I said before, pillows are very forgiving. So really nothing has to be completely perfect. I mean, you don't want to go crazy making it, you know, like not caring, but it's pretty forgiving. It's not like a pieced quilt, that's for sure. Okay, so I'm going to head over to the sewing machine and we will finish this pillow up. Okay, so I'm over at the sewing machine. I'm just going to sew this 1/2 inch seam allowance all the way around. Let's get going. And I just use my scissors. You can also use a stiletto if you have one. And that just helps it guide through, because this one particular area where you have a lot of fabric. Okay. Okay, so I have it sewn all the way around, and I forgot my scissors. Hold on one sec. Okay, so all you want to do now is you just want to cut the corners so that whenever you push the, whenever you turn it the other way, and of course I didn't leave it unzipped, so now this is going to be very difficult. Oh, this is a problem. You're supposed to leave this unzipped before you sew that. Okay. Yeah, this might be a problem. I'm so glad I do all of this stuff on camera. See, this is why I don't like to... I should really think while I'm making these videos. Alright, hold on one second. I'm just going to seam rip right on the part on this side so that I can get my finger in there. Just have to get a finger in there. I might have to do it from this side. I can see this side better. Oops. I'm trying to make sure I take the brown stitch out and not the white one that is my quilting. It's difficult with muslin because your seam ripper will go straight through muslin. I'm trying to be very calm since I'm making this video for you. Because normally, I'm sure I'm just like everybody else. When I make mistakes like this, it annoys me a lot. Maybe even more so me, because I'm supposed to be the one who knows what I'm doing here. Okay, so I got a little bit of seam ripped there. Let's see if I can get my finger inside. Nope, not enough. I got fatter fingers than that. Okay, no problem. Alright. Oh yeah, now we got a good rip in there. Alright, so I just need to... I might need more than one finger in there. Can I scooch it? I'm trying to scooch it. I just need a little bit. Okay. I think I got enough there. It's a good lesson. Tell you guys. At least I can show you that everybody makes mistakes, even whenever they've been doing it for a long time. Alright, so let me put the seam ripper away, because now it's getting in my way. And I should be able to just get my finger in there and hold the... Are you guys being able to see my struggle? Okay, now we got it. Okay, so if I had, you know, remembered to leave that there, we wouldn't have had that struggle. But as you can see, when something like that happens, sometimes it can be difficult, but try not to lose your cool. Just one second at a time, you know. Alright, so before I do anything, because I'm going to forget if I don't, I'm going to sew this up again, since I just ripped it. Okay. Because that would be the first thing I would forget to do, is reattach this. Okay, so what you should do, what I should have done is, I should have unzipped the zipper before I started sewing it closed all the way around. Okay, so back to the corners. When you're going to want to turn your corners out, it's better if you don't have all this bulk in the corner. So I just don't cut your stitches, but just very end there. Just want to cut a little piece off. Hope I'm doing this in the camera, trying to remember that you're watching. And I just want to go right across there. And right across there. And the last one. Right there. Okay. So now, just going to turn it out. And I know that you're way too close to be able to see exactly what I'm doing here. But basically, I'm just going to push out the corners one at a time. You can use a stiletto if you want to, but I tend to think that these are like so big that I can just use my little pinky and push it out. And I'm going to do this one. And see, since I've cut that extra bulk out, I can get the corner pretty good. Okay. Alright. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to go and put my pillow form in, and I will show you the finished product. Okay, so there's the finished pillow. Jellybean was checking it out. So anyway, there it is. With the pillow form inside, and I'm holding the camera, so let me just step back for a second, and then you can see that's where the zipper is, and it's pretty much hidden inside, and yeah, looks pretty good. So I hope this has helped. If you did have any reservations about putting zippers in, because they're really not that difficult. And yeah, so I'll get to making a tutorial for putting zippers in and making pouches, which is almost just as easy. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.